Okay, let's see if this is going to be better. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah. Okay, but let's see if it goes forward or not, because, you know, earlier it was not allowing me to go forward. Okay, yeah, still not. Moral of the story, do not try to use the annotation button, right? I was trying to get to the spotlight button, but for some reason it went into some arrow button, but okay, yeah, this is not working. I'm so sorry that I'm having issues with the slideshare today, but yeah, it's still refusing to go forward for some reason. Okay. What's the easiest way to do it? Can we all, oh, something happened. Wow, my computer is possessed. Oh my God, I erased like the next 3 slides. Or I added some stuff in there. Okay, I will not play the slideshow, okay? I will just use it like this and not use the annotation button. I apologize for this. Okay. I think it's still recording, so we're all good. And this meeting recording later. Okay, so let's go into the next kind of language, which is the synthetic language. So we talked about the analytic language where you have free morphemes, and then synthetic language. So here is an example of Hungarian. So you can see there are bound morphemes that are attached to other morphemes, like the man singular or the dog with like object marking. And it is kind of attached to the word. So it creates one word, like a complex word, but for all purposes, this is an example of 2 morphemes attaching to create a bigger word. So there are 3 different kinds of synthetic languages in the world. So there's agglutinating languages, there's fusional languages, and there's polysynthetic languages. So here is an example of an agglutinating language. So this is Swahili, or Hungarian is an example of an agglutination language, but this is Swahili. So you have Nina Soma, Una Soma, Ali Soma. So as you can see, there's Soma, which is the word for read. And then depending on the past tense and the aspectual marking, you actually get differences in the prefixation. So you have Nina, Una, Ali. And each of them actually encode some kind of present information as well as some kind of past tense information. So another example of an agglutinating language along with Hungarian. And then you have fusional languages. Many of you are familiar with this fusional language, Spanish. So it's a kind of synthetic language which uses fusion to attach bound morphemes. So hablo, habla, hable. Right, very easily you can kind of distinguish the ending of this particular verb to actually say, you know, what person, number, and gender is. Right, so hablo is first person singular, and habla is third person singular, and they're both present tense. And they also encode gender. So O is masculine and A is feminine gender. And then hable is I spoke, and that's just first person singular with a past tense marker, right? So that's an example of a fusion language. Unlike the agglutinating language, it's very difficult to kind of, you know, break up these root of the words from the ending of the word. So that's why it's called a fusional language. And the last kind of synthetic language is called a polysynthetic language. It's a highly complex kind of word formation process. Usually what happens is, you know, there are verb forms in that language, and the nouns actually incorporate into the verb. So the kind of terminology that you might see if you're reading a paper on a polysynthetic languages is called incorporation. Right? So you have a verb, and then you attach the noun into the verb by a process called incorporation. Okay. Eskimo is a classic example of a polysynthetic language. Here I have an example of Sora. If you've seen the movie The Linguists, you probably would have heard Sora before, know of Sora before. So this is anin nyam nyaten, anin nyam nyaten, anin nyam nya te na, right? And the meaning of this sentence, this is one sentence, even though it just looks like one word. The meaning of this is he is fish catching, where you have the fish, the ya morpheme kind of incorporated into the catch, right? To create that one complex sentence. So like I said, Eskimo is another example of a polysynthetic language. And here is an example from Sora. So that concludes our lecture for today, Olivia.
Can I make a small tiny correction on the Spanish part? The hablo would be like I speak, because I am speaking is something different.
Oh, okay. So just I speak?
And then habla would be he or she speaks.
Okay. So what would be I am speaking? Like
that
if you want to say.
That would be estoy hablando.
Okay.
Or
okay.
like he, she speaks would be estás hablando, I think.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. There's so there's all that additional aspectual marking that's coming from that verb estoy, right? In estoy hablando. So this, as you can see, I've kept it very minimum, right? So I'm not, so hablo by itself is just the verb, right? I don't have the yo or the, the subject, but it's kind of understood that if you say hablo, it's yo hablo, right? So that's kind of why I have that. But I will stick to the changes you told me. So I speak and she or he speaks. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's go into the breakout session. I have a couple of practice exercises, so you can download this from your handout section on Blackboard. And let me actually just pull it up here and show you what you're supposed to be doing. There's a lot of different kinds of exercises. The first one is basically just a division of English words into their morphemes. Right? So replaces is re plus place plus s, right? So I've given you that example here. And then you have a lot of different words that you actually have to break into the smaller pieces. And if this allows me to scroll down, are you seeing my handout? Okay, but it's not allowing me to scroll down. Can you also see my rainbow circly thing? No, okay. Okay. I also have a couple of other questions in your, very similar to the questions that we did in the last breakout session, where I've given you some data from other languages and I've asked you to identify what those morphemes are and, create new sentences on the basis of those morphemes. So I highly recommend you going into Blackboard right now and downloading this handout because it's not allowing me to scroll down from here. But I will put you into your breakout rooms. So let's see. Okay, so you need to, all right, perfect.
That thing pulled up. Oh, here it says screen share, but I think that's only when you're on the video since you're the leader of the meeting. I can't hear you. Maybe it's my computer because I couldn't hear Erin either.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying that, sorry, I completely blanked out on the question. Can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, I was just saying we were just still trying to pull it up, but I couldn't screen share. So we're just kind of getting started now.
So I changed the setting to make multiple participants share simultaneously. So you should be able to share now. Can you check again? Yeah.
Yes, I see it now.
Okay.
Alrighty. So the first one we said, can you see that, Erin? Okay. So the first one I said retro plus active. Befriended, be plus friend plus ed.
Do you want me to say whether you're right or you're just discussing with Erin right now?
I think we're just discussing, but if I say something wrong, I mean, I would want to know. So
I want you to rethink retroactive. Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to that because there's one more breakdown that you didn't say. So
act, IVE.
Correct.
Okay. And then televise. Erin, what do you think?
Plus eyes. Type of thing.
Yeah.
So it'd be if ficus is strong and if fumicus is he is becoming strong, then
I guess the me is like the he is becoming.
yeah. So
the easiest way to do this would be to look at all the words on the left-hand side and look at all the words on the right-hand side and identify the common factor between all the words on the right-hand side, right? So I know, Ephraim, you said me, but then there's also that one other thing before me. So you don't want to forget that, right? So always look for the common factor between all the words. So
if you look at it, if you look at the ones below it on the right, they all have for he is becoming umi in the middle of the word. Like it's just instead of ficus, it's fumicus.
Right.
And then kilad, it's kumilad, but I don't know if the I would be, it'd be considered in there because baro is bumiado. So can I type underneath? I can type underneath this one. Okay. So the infix would be me. I don't know how to spell it, but me. And it's placed in the middle of the word after the first letter.
Good.
Okay. Next one.
Okay.
Following some verbs from Chickasaw, a member of the Muskogean family.
Oh, the
Is it
common
the aha?
chaha,
Huh?
the chaha. That ch is also in there universally.
I don't. Oh, okay. I'm looking. There's some tired and cold and hungry in there too. So okay.
Yeah, so just the ones that
Oh,
have
it's
the word tall.
chaha.
The chaha is all in common of all of those. So to be tall is chaha.
Is
And to be
chaha.
hungry, well, what's the last three? Hopobatok, hopobatok, sahopoba. Ooh,
Hopo, right? Hopoba.
hopoba, yeah.
Hopoba. To be hungry. Hopoba.
Landon or Kelly, if you want to share your screen, you can do that in case that's easier. If you want to share your screen here.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I can share mine.
Doesn't really matter to me. I mean, we're both looking at our stuff. Sure.
Does that help? Did that work?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
All
what is
right. Past tense. Let's see. What are the past ones? You were tired. Chiti bitok. He was hungry. Hopobatok. They were hungry. Hopobatok. I think the thing in common there is
for hungry?
for all the ones that are past tense.
Well, for the hungry one, it would be talk. Oh,
Yeah.
also for the tired, you were tired as talk.
Yeah. So I think that's the past tense.
But look at, I am tired. Oh, I am tired. That's
That's-
still,
that's
that's
present.
present tense. Okay, so talk.
That's basically how you identify anything, any morphemes like this, is you just be like, these are all the ones that have the same thing in it that I'm looking for. What's in common between all these?
So for I, it would be the saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working a little better. So like the he, when it refers to a he or a she pronoun, you don't have an affix on there. It's just kind of the main morpheme. And then
Base form. That's what.
yeah, the base form. And then talk is past tense. That we're both in there. The Chickasaw root.
Have you guys seen this kind of data before in any other class or? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you're doing great. So, you know.
This one seems pretty straightforward, so I'm thank you.
Yeah, once you start to do a lot of these language puzzles, it kind of clicks and it makes sense a lot more, easier and easily.
Mm.
But yeah, the first time is always like intimidating, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like this does not look like English. So yeah, but you both are doing great. So any questions for me before I hop on?
Oh, we had one on deactivation.
Uh-huh.
Would that be D plus act plus evade plus shun?
Yeah, you can even actually break it down a little further into D plus act plus if plus 8 plus ION. So
Oh, right.
activate, deactivation,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah. So there's that 8 is another morpheme in there as well.
Dang, that one, I knew when I saw it, I was like, that has at least more than 5. So.
Yeah, your head is in the right track. So when you practice more, it's just going to come easier. So
Cool. Well, thank you.
of course.
Okay, so if the Chickasaw root to be old is
I'm assuming that you're both done with the handout.
Yes,
Yep.
me.
Okay, cool. Any questions? Anything that you were stuck on?
No, but it was fun that you had Italian in there because that's my second language.
I see. Yeah, I try to please everybody. So was that easier to do than Chickasaw and the other languages?
I mean, I already speak it, so I knew like kind of the roots and everything. So yeah, it was easier, but I really like these exercises where we have to look at the language and break it down.
Have you done this before in any other class or?
No, but it's kind of the way I learn languages because I don't really learn by a formal instruction. I learn by being immersed in it.
Oh,
And,
cool. So have you learned Italian from when you were a kid?
the last 3.5 years I lived in Italy.
Oh, okay,
That's
cool.
how I learned it.
What part of Italy?
Southern Italy on the spur of the boot in
Okay.
Puglia.
Yeah, I love Italy. My husband and I have visited a couple of times, but with COVID, it's so difficult to travel. But yeah, did you do a study abroad there or?
In a way, my dad worked out there and we tried a couple different schools and I did attend Italian school for a short while, but it's too different from American school that it almost sent me back. So I had to drop out.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I will see you all in the main room. Okay, I know some of you finished your handout and maybe, others haven't. So I will encourage you to finish this handout at home if you haven't completed it. And then we can, we literally have 1 minute. We're not going to be able to go through the answers today, but we will come back to it on Thursday morning. But how did you like this exercise? Yeah, you really like looking at languages. I know some of you do, but for others who this might be like new, right? This is why I am a linguist. This is why I do linguistics, because it's so much fun to do language puzzles. And that's why I also like this language, this class better than 315, because I only talk about English in 315, and I'm like, that's no fun. So cool. I'm glad that you're all liking class and liking all these puzzles. Kelly asked me a question about the midterm, so I think I'll share that information with all of you. She asked me if the midterm will have questions like this, and I told her that it will be a mix of multiple choice questions as well as practice exercises such as this. So it's going to be a mix of two. It's a completely open book exam. This is the first time that I've done a completely open book exam for this class. So, as long as you do your reading, as long as you have all your notes about, concepts that we have covered in class, I think you should be fine. But it's not until March 22nd, until after spring break. So you have quite a bit of time to prepare for the midterm as well. Any questions before we end class today?
I do have a question about the first practice. The word holiday, and then also the word morphemic. Excuse me. So holiday, is that monomorphemic, or can that be split up to holla and day?
We could do that at another point in English's history, but we don't do that anymore. It's a monomorphemic word in modern English. So
okay. That's kind of
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I see where the question is coming from, but for modern English, it's a single monomorphemic word.
Okay.
You could trace origins into holy and day and make, holiday, but
yeah, and that's what Landon had mentioned. And so we kind of talked about the origin versus the modern use. So, okay, I was just checking. And then for morphemic, would it just be two?
Yep.
So morpheme and then ick?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, morphemic.
Gotcha.
Sure. Okay. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Thursday.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.